Hey, it's Will here with the High Tech Podcast. My quick word this week is on ChatGPT. Surprise, right? The big thing, everyone's talking about it. It might be taking the world by storm. It's fine. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. We think that ChatGPT is worth talking about because it's pushing the limits. It's making us think about education, making us think about how we deliver assignments, even about how we interact with one another. I'm actually here to promote the idea, on a positive note, that ChatGPT is actually going to make us better with questions. Now, what's a question? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm sorry, I'll stop. Asking a question is a critical skill. Many times we ask simple questions like, what is the color of the sky? And yet we know some of the more important elements of that question are, why is the sky blue? Why does the sky have clouds? Why is the sky important in weather? Not as easy to think of that or get into those types of questions with the initial question, right? What's the color of the sky? And yet we know there's so much more to learn from the sky than just its color. This is a practice I've run up against even with my own use of ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, write me a post announcing a new episode for the High Tech Podcast. Well, it pretty much just says, congratulations. You have a new episode of the High Tech Podcast, right? I have to take time and think through, write me a post about the High Tech Podcast for episode 86, including a reference to ChatGPT and how exciting this new experience might be. And now I get a much more broad and even in-depth response. Hey, head to my LinkedIn, you'll actually see that post. But that aside, we need to think about what it takes to ask a question. And that's what I'm excited about ChatGPT. I've spent a little bit of time with it, and each time I've asked my initial question, I've not been thrilled with my response. I have to take time and think through the nuance of what I'm really trying to drive at to get a better response from the system. Isn't this the practice we want for our students, of us? Not only to ask us questions and ask us more questions, but ask better questions. And I think that only comes from practice. Just like any other behavior, any other skill, we need them to model that experience. And ChatGPT is a beautiful playground. Give it a try. See if your students give you better questions after you give them specific activities using that as a playground for the way they can ask you questions in classroom. Until next time.